just open the door. Ready, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah! San Carlos Ground Warrior 901338 at North Tower Parking. Requesting...
Getting you started in aviation with inspiration at its best. This is DPD. What's up, captains? Hello and welcome to Definite Pilot Deviation, DPD. My name is Mo. I'm going to be taking you through a day in the life of a student pilot. Episode 1, Season 1, Era 1, whatever you want to call it. This is my very first episode, and I'm so excited to share with you what my life is like when I'm practicing on my own. It's pretty nerve-wracking, especially like today when it's my first time flying without an instructor, with no instructor in sight. A few months ago, I took a flight where I did 3 laps of what I'm going to do today called the pattern. 3 laps in the pattern with a flight instructor and then 3 on my own. But today's flight, no flight instructor around.
Look left, look center, look right. Behind us. Gotta pull this down a little more. Look left once more. Clear up! Alright.
Today, as I said earlier, I'm going to be doing some pattern work. Now, the pattern gets a standardized flow of traffic for all airplanes coming into a specified airport. Obviously, if every airport has a traffic pattern, you want to be pretty good at it and therefore practice it quite often. So today, I'm going to be practicing a few laps around the airport, a few laps in the pattern.
So this is how it's going to go. We're going to say, San Carlos Ground, who are we? Experimental 962 Tango Foxtrot at hangars 11. At hangars 11, requesting right close traffic with information whiskey. Alright, now let's give it a shot. San Carlos Ground, experimental 962 Tango Foxtrot at hangars 11, requesting right close traffic with information whiskey.
Experimental 962 Tango Foxtrot, San Carlos Ground, you want options or full stop taxi backs?
Full stop taxi back, I'm a student pilot, thank you.
Experimental 2 Tango Foxtrot, runway 30, run up area, taxi via Juliet.
Runway 30, run up, taxi via Juliet to Tango Foxtrot. Alright, now we've gotten clearance to go onto the movement area.
Some of you might be curious why I mentioned in my radio call with Information Whiskey. Information Whiskey is the current weather information updated every hour 10 minutes before the hour. It won't always be Information Whiskey. Occasionally it's Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, all the way through Zulu using the phonetic alphabet. Every hour, the weather information is updated, and to let anyone you're talking to know that you have the most current weather information, you tell them you have information blank. For us, it's Information Whiskey. Now I'm cleared to the run-up area. The run-up area is a designated area in the airport where airplanes can go to rev their engines. We rev our engines to max and then reduce them slightly to essentially simulate the airplane in motion in the air and to simulate what our instruments and electronics are going to do when in the simulated version we are in the air. This tests for anything that is irregular. When we do our run-up checklist, we are making sure that things are in the green, gauges in the green, things are where they're supposed to be, and anything irregular can be an indication that something is not right and therefore not safe to fly. This is essentially our final safety check before we take off.
Canopy locked. Coming to the backside here for taxiing. We got the taxiing done. Brakes hold, flight controls check, left. We're doing the box pattern right here.
Side of a Pilatus 8-mile final number 1, runway 30, pretty option.
Alright, flight center is 1200. We are taking off a runway, oh that's the wrong one, that's why. Runway 30, let's take that to 30. Good.
21, San Carlos, reduce your speed, and report 3 mile final runway 30.
Still looking on positive amps, still looking good on fuel. 3/4. Alright. Fuel shot valve, push down. Fuel quantity check. We are at 3/4 of the tank, which is 15 gallons. A little bit over 15 actually. Trim set for takeoff. Flaps up. Trim is set. Minimum oil temp 120. We are at 163. Alright. I'm going to put this away because I have practiced this so many times. It's like the back of my head. We are going to 5,000 RPMs, hold the brakes. And then when we're there, we're going to reduce back down to 4,000. 4,000 RPMs, holding steady at 4,000. Now let me double check, because we can. That's smart. Lane A goes off first. That's what I thought. Just wanted to double check. Lane A coming off. Now what we're waiting for is that there's a little light over here that when I do anything to it, it's going to turn off eventually when I actually turn it on. So right now, it's holding there. What I'm looking for is that max drop. I'm looking for a max drop of 180. Now that, I read 4,000. That's not even dropping below 4,000. Looking good. Lane A coming back on, and we're going to see that rise by probably 10, 20, maybe even 30. That's okay. Looking good. Now I did wait for that light to extinguish, so that light is gone though. Now we're going to test lane 2. Lane 2 coming off. And so I'll say the 4,000. It could dip down to 3,008 or 3,980. That's okay. That's acceptable. But it's staying clear. So we're going to put lane A back on. When it is back to full, we are going to reduce down to 2,000 RPMs. Now that's because we want to conserve energy, conserve our battery, but you know we don't need it. So fuel pump 1 coming on, and on here I'm looking over here. The fuel PSI, the pressure per square inch, needs to stay between 40 and 50. So fuel pump 1 coming off. Fuel pump 1 is confirmed off, and that stays between 40 and 50. Looking good. Fuel pump 1 on. Fuel pump 2 coming off. Fuel pump 2 coming back on. Perfect, perfect. Alright. Volts in the green. EFIS battery in the green. There, amps good. Battery amps in the positive. We're going to switch over to tower. Let's just confirm. Right. Fuel pumps. Boom. Takeoff leaving an abort plan. Transponders checked. Lights as required. Canopy is latched. Engine gauges have been checked. I'm gonna open. Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna open you up. Oh, you're open, and it's just hot. There. Oh my God! Wait, we just gotta admire the Pilatus. I'm a simp for Pilatus, even though that was a landing on his nose wheel. I'm still a simp. Hey, Carlos Tower. Experimental 962 Tango Foxtrot at 30 run up, ready for departure.
Slowing on 962 Tango Foxtrot, St. Carlos Tower, hold short, runway 30, landing traffic.
Holding short, runway 30 to Tango Foxtrot. I'm just gonna try and get the nose wheel straight. Gotta be gentle with it, or not. Get a little bit more aggressive with it. We're opening here, bud.
Kilo 45 Bravo.
702 Tango Foxtrot, right close traffic approved, runway 30 for takeoff.
Right close traffic, runway 30, clear for takeoff, to Tango Foxtrot. Alright. Check left, check right, check left. Lights, camera, action, we have our lights. Transponder is our camera, and our action is going to be taking the runway, making sure we maintain center line, and keeping it golden. Alright. We are gonna get her rolling. She rolling. Right, lots of right rudder, light nose wheel, maintaining that center line. Gauges in the green. We have hit 55. We are going to rotate, and we are going to wait till we hit 74. Hit 74. We have hit 74. Let's pull up. Her rotation speed 5. She rolling.
She rolling. She rolling. She rolling. Her rotation speed is fine.
I love that dude more than anyone knows, dude. That guy is so... He's just such a vibe. such a vibe.
Sherman 2 Tango Foxtrot, runway 30, clear to land.
Runway 30, clear to land, 2 Tango Foxtrot. Alright, we're going to add a little less right rudder, pointing us to the runway. Maintain 800 feet. Let's do our pre-landing checklist. We're going to go gumps, gas, push down, undercarriage, feel those brakes. Mixture is going to be our fuel pumps. MP is going to be power, which I'm going to reduce a little bit. And S is going to be seat belts. But we have a few more S's that we learned yesterday. First S is going to be our signals, I believe, and that is going to be, that way they can see us. And the second S, we're going to be seeing the wind sleeve. Is it sleeve? No? Crap, I forget.
Right before I land, I'm going to mention something called ground effect. Now, ground effect is important because it is a cushion of air that gets trapped underneath your aircraft between the surface of the runway and your wings, which are designed to generate lift. It traps this air, and eventually it dissipates out from underneath and allows you to settle down on the runway for a nicer, smoother, and softer landing.
Gorgeous day. Oh my gosh, doesn't get much more beautiful than this. That's the LME 500. There we go. That's looking good. We're looking beautiful right here. Heading in that second notch of flaps. We are quite a bit high, which is totally okay. I would much rather be too high than too low. So let's get us back on glide slope. Too high, you can always go around. Too low, now you got a problem. Alright, looking good, looking good. Gauges are in the green. We are at 75. We are a bit fast, but that's going to die out when we go into ground effect. So, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Going around, 2 Takeoff shot.
45 Bravo, runway 30, clear for the option.
20, clear for the option, 45 Bravo.
7 Tango Foxtrot, roger.
I'm sure if you are curious why I decided to go around. I thought it was a perfect approach. I did too. But when I flared too early, it's always been a problem of mine. Flared too early, so I felt that sink. I tried to correct it with power, and then I added too much power to myself. Messed that one up, but it is totally okay, because I want to keep flying. But obviously I want to land. That's the goal. But guess what? We can always go around. I thought that pattern was perfect. I felt really good about that. It was just that last few seconds I flared too early. Happens to the best of us, happens to me all of the damn time. And it is all good. It is all good. Entering downwind.
San Carlos Tower 6042 Foxtrot, holding short 30.
Cessna 6242 Foxtrot, San Carlos Tower, hold short, runway 30, traffic, half mile final.
And traffic site 6042 Foxtrot.
Cessna 42 Foxtrot, read back, hold short instructions.
Okay, holding short 30, 6042 Foxtrot.
Now, for those of you who are not in aviation,
Experimental 2 Tango Foxtrot, I'll call you base.
you'll call our base, 2 Tango Foxtrot. Now you might be thinking that was a little harsh. Hey, you know, do this. This is about safety here. 100% about safety. So, you know, the controllers are, I'm sure, very nice people, but here they can't be polite and say please and thank you. They're the ones that you gotta listen to. That's okay. Gumps, gas, undercarriage, mixture, power, and seat belts, signals, and looking for that windsock. Now, until he tells me base turn approved, I have to maintain traffic pattern altitude, mainly for safety reasons, so that I have more time to turn just in case of an emergency, which is what we're always prepping for, but it is advisable, and I'm almost certain you have to maintain. He's gonna let him take off first. It's all good, I'm in no rush, no rush.
Seven 2 Tango Foxtrot, turn base, runway 30, clear to land.
2 Tango Foxtrot, turning base, clear to land, runway 30, 2 Tango Foxtrot. that nose down, point that nose down, point that nose down, point that nose down. Oh boy. We're good, we're good, we're good. Gonna kill that power. And gently, gently, I'll take that. That was a solid first landing.
Base by 42, San Carlos ground, Roger. And you want to go Cowdy Hills or Oakland?
More towards Oakland, but not over Oakland.
That's good, that's good.
Base by 42, you want to go with Hayward with NorCal? Base by 42, NorCal B125.35. I'll have a spot for you here momentarily. Runway 30, run up very Texas.
Not my beautiful, that's beautiful.
702 Tango Foxtrot, runway 30, taxi via Juliet.
Runway 30, taxi via Juliet, 2 Tango Foxtrot.
Base flight 42, NorCal will be again 125.35, and your squawk is...
And Juliet's over there, which makes me curious why he set me on Juliet, but he is the boss man. And I shall taxi on Juliet.
Experiment 2 Tango Foxtrot, holding position.
Holding position, 2 Tango Foxtrot.
2 Tango Foxtrot, are you going to the run-up area?
No, sir, that might be my bad, but I'm pretty sure you told me to go on Juliet, and I repeated Juliet. I'm sorry about that if I messed up.
Experiment 2 Tango Foxtrot, runway 30, taxi via Kilo.
Taxi via Kilo, 2 Tango Foxtrot to runway 30, 2 Tango Foxtrot.
Base flight 42, the experiment is getting out of your way. He's going to go to Kilo. Once he's out of your way, continue to Juliet.
A little curious on why it took me to Juliet, but you know what? We're human. He makes mistakes, I make mistakes. I might have just misheard him. I'm glad he caught that, because I certainly didn't. And I probably should have said something when I was a little bit confused, but you know what? Everyone's okay at the end of the day. So, that's all good. Let's taxi on to over here. break. St. Carlos Tower, experimental 962 Tango Foxtrot on Kilo. I'm hearing something out of my right brake. Can I taxi onto Juliet and taxi to parking?
Experimental 2 Tango Foxtrot, taxi parking via Juliet.
Taxi to parking via Juliet, 2 Tango Foxtrot. Yeah, that's 100% my right brake.
So I want to talk about a few things that happened on today's flight. Number one, my entire traffic pattern felt really good. I felt like when I was making those turns, ins and outs, I felt really good. They felt like I was doing them right. And the way I saw them visually felt right. Number two, it is a gorgeous day out here. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here. Now I want to talk about a little bit about what I should have done and what I could have done a little bit better. Number one is on that ATC call, I knew he said Juliet. I went with it, but I had that sneaking suspicion. I even mentioned it, but I had that sneaking suspicion that it wasn't supposed to be Juliet. And I should have said something. I really should have, because there could, I'm really glad he caught it. And I was a little bit curious if that plane had gotten clearance, because I didn't hear it. I just figured that they were going to hold short of that and then call ground. So I didn't know what was going on. But I should have spoke up. I should have said, hey Tower, are you just confirming via Juliet? And he probably would have said, my bad, or taxi via Kilo. We all make mistakes. We are all human. There's really no one to blame on this one. Tower is definitely dealing with at least 5 aircraft. And this was a really, really minor thing. So I'm glad it got sorted out in the right time. And even though I am 100% certain that I heard Juliet and I read back Juliet, I want to note that I did not blame that controller. I did not say, you told me Juliet, I went on Juliet. That's not productive. That doesn't make the guy or gal who is dealing with 5-6 aircraft, making sure that there are at least, let's say, all those seats are full, at least 20, 30 people's lives are safe. That doesn't make him feel good. That doesn't boost him. I will take full responsibility, because if the FAA reviews those tapes and either A, I got it wrong, I look like a dick, or B, he messed up and I yell at him for it, I still look like a dick. And there's no need to be one in this place. And quite frankly, some pilots are. And it's really sad to see, but I'm not going to be one of those pilots, or at least going to try not to be. So I just took full responsibility for a mistake that is on technically both of us, but that's something that I really want to point out in today's lesson. Number two is just, I really want to say thank you to everyone watching these vlogs, these podcasts, whatever you want to call them. I'm so excited to see where this thing goes. I want to be talking to you guys. Please like, comment below, comment what you want to see, what you want to hear. If you have questions for as a student pilot, if you have questions for a private pilot, we have 2 of them, so please talk to us, and we want to interact with you. Lastly, please check out our Instagram. But seriously guys, I really want to thank my parents for being so supportive and incredible in this flight process. I want to thank my girlfriend for being so supportive. And lastly, thank you to all of you for watching this podcast. It means the world that I can share some of my knowledge, some of my wisdom, and a lot of what I don't know yet, and I'm going to learn with you guys. That just comes with experience. So I really hope you enjoyed today's podcast, or vlog, or whatever you want to call it. Today's episode of starting out as a new pilot, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much.